episode 34, Podfather Predictions. Who's excited for Podfather Predictions today?
It's me.
I love how you guys raised your hand and didn't speak. You just kind of raised your hand like you were just ready to answer like in the classroom.
It's what I'm used to.
Sorry, Teach. Is that like just the rule of thumb?
It's not. Just shout out your answer in my room, but
that's it. Hey, listen, Podfather predictions. We're going to go over NFC North today for episode 34. And since we're talking about the NFL and since we're on episode number 34, I thought it'd be a great idea. Tell me your favorite or the best number 34 you can think about in NFL history. Teach, I'll go to you first.
You know where I'm going. Even though I hated him for leaving the team and going to the Dolphins, Thurman Thomas. All-time great Bill. Thurman Thomas.
All right. Awesome. Coach, give me your greatest number 34.
Now, off the top of my head, without doing any research whatsoever, so this is off the dome, was Walter Payton 34?
34, absolutely.
Briefly, yeah.
That's the name that he came to my mind was Walter Payton.
Yeah, I'm going to go. There's two. I'm going to go Ricky Williams or Herschel Walker. Can't think of which one I want, so I'm taking them both because that's what I can do. Hey, yeah, and you guys let us know what we got right, what I got wrong, or who you think is the greatest 34 ever to play in the NFL. Man, I'm really excited about moving into the NFC North. Now, I'm not going to do a full recap on what happened in the AFC. You guys can check it out on TikTok, Instagram. Watch episode 33, 32, 31, 30. It's all in there, right? The AFC picture. But there are a few things I want to talk about with the NFC before we get on to the predictions, okay? I just want to run through kind of what the NFC has looked like, right? So last year we saw 12 teams with 4 teams with 12 plus wins. 4 teams, 12 plus wins, right? Philly led the pack. They finished at 14-3. They kind of dominated the NFC. San Francisco played quarterback carousel, but it didn't matter. They ended up 13-4, just a uber talented roster. And the Vikings surprised the league at 13-4 also. Now, we're going to talk about them a little bit because we're going NFC North today. So we are going to talk about the Vikings. And then, of course, the Cowboys, the leader of the pack, the winners of everything, finished at 12-5. You know, floppy play to end the year. We put Zeke at center. It's okay. No big deal.
Didn't win everything, but okay.
Yeah. Just let me tell the story. My story, I tell it how I want, right? Okay? So we also saw the resurgence of Saquon Barkley. And the Giants were a sneaky playoff team. Tom Brady, we saw the last of Tom Brady. Peace out, GOAT. Anybody want to tell him bye real quick?
Bye.
Deuce.
We saw Aaron Rodgers leave the NFC. We saw him miss the playoffs. And now we're left in the NFC with Aaron Rodgers moving on, Tom Brady retiring, a bunch of young guns at quarterback. I think it's going to be a really fun year because it could be a prove-it year for a lot of teams and a lot of players in the NFC. So let's get to the NFC North predictions. You guys ready for that?
Oh, yeah.
So I want to we're going to start with the Chicago Bears. That's right. The kings of the deep dish. All right. The Chicago Bears. And I've got a few questions about the Chicago Bears. And you guys can chime in anytime you want here, right here. Okay. Is this a prove-it year for Justin Fields? That's a legitimate question, right? Now, the Bears had a nice offseason. Improved the offensive line. They improved the linebackers, and they also added DJ Moore. They got Justin Fields, maybe a legitimate weapon. I don't know. I hate him in fantasy football, but was it enough to get them over 500, right? So last year they finished 3-14, but this year they're kind of a middle of the pack in strength of schedule. So I think we're going to really see what the Bears are made of. Now let's get to it, okay? DraftKings has the Bears at 7.5 wins over under. Let's see if we go 3 for 3 here for the Bears. Now, Coach, Teach, I'm going to go Coach first, Teach second. Are you going over and under for 7.5 wins for the Bears?
Over. Ooh.
Oh, Coach is going over. Teach, are you going over or under for 7.5 wins for the Bears?
Under.
We are not 3 for 3 because I am also taking the under. But before I give you my record, I want you guys to explain to me Coach, I have to start with you taking the over, right? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Why?
Why? The reason why is simple as this. I ride with those Ohio State guys, and so I'm just going to stay on brand and call it what it is. Just there's no other reason, because if there was any other quarterback that went to any other school, I'd say under any other one in that system, in same numbers, same body, same athleticism, same everything. I take the under, but because he goes for Ohio State, I'm gonna pull for the guys.
I don't know that I've ever heard a more truthful answer. There's no legitimate reason. It's only because.
Brand strong.
That's such a podfather answer. Don't you agree, Teach? Now,
that is the ultimate. Like, hey, I'm gonna ride this until the wheels fall off, and they're probably gonna fall off. But oh well, I'm definitely doing this.
So, Teach, you took the under on 7.5. Give me a quick explanation. Because I agree with you.
Justin Fields. It's definitely a prove it year for Justin Fields. It's year 3 as a starting quarterback. So he needs to take that next step up, like we saw Jalen Hurts do it. He sneakily finished in the top 10 in MVP voting last year. Justin Fields on a 3-win team finished 9th in MVP. I think the biggest question isn't about Justin Fields. I think the biggest question is about running back. I think they're going to miss David Montgomery. I don't think that Khalil Herbert and Dante Foreman are going to replace his production. So, listen, he's no longer their scapegoat. I think this is squarely on the shoulders of Justin Fields, and I think they're going to be find a lack of wins. They'll improve from last year, but they're not going to nearly improve enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said. I think it is a Justin Fields prove it year. Coach, I want to go back to you. If you're saying they're going to take the under, give me an estimate of wins for the Chicago Bears. Give me a schedule. I mean, a standing.
I'm going over. So if I'm going over, I'm putting them at 8 wins. Just because I didn't really believe it when I said it, as you can hear my voice. So if I'm going to go over under, I'm barely going over because I'm riding with them. So I'll give it to them. If not, I probably would have said 5, but I'm going to say 8. I do believe that he has some skill. He has some moxie. He has some of the things it takes to be a quarterback. Problem is, I don't think he has like the Trevor Lawrence things that it takes to be a quarterback. He has the Justin Field things it takes to be a quarterback. So there's why I'm barely giving him 8.
My heart just fluttered. Thank you for the name drop. All right, so Coach goes 8 wins. Teach, give me your record for them.
7 wins. I think it's 7-10. So it's close. This was the NFC North. I'm glad we're starting here with NFC because this whole division is going to be interesting. They were all this whole area is Vegas knew what they were doing. Vegas knows exactly what they're doing, but I think barely under, and I think they look for a new coach, possibly a new quarterback next year.
Yeah, no, 7 wins. I think that's reasonable. So I have them at 5 wins. I have the Bears finishing at 5-12. That's what I think. I think they just have a tough record. I don't know who they can sweep in their division. I don't think there's a team in their division that they can sweep. And then if you look at their away games, they have the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Commanders, the Browns, all of which I think are better than them. I think they're a better team than them, right? And at home, they also have to play the Broncos and the Raiders at home and their division. So I found 5 wins for them. I think that kind of going to max it out for me with the Chicago Bears. But hey, we weren't 3 for 3, but we did a great job. I think the Bears finish at 5-12.
Just to note the record, I'm saying 8 because of him, but my mind says 5.
Yeah.
Just to note it out there, put it in the universe. Want to make sure I speak that out.
I'm going to say this for you, Teach, before you say it. Quit taking my stuff, man. You can't have 2 picks on the same team. You can't come in here talking about Trevor Lawrence. You can't come in here. It's a 3rd time already, and we're 9 minutes deep, bro. All right, so yeah, go ahead, Teach.
Listen, I think the focus, like I said, is going to be on Justin Fields, but the guy who the focus really should be on plays in Detroit now. That's where I think the focus is going to be.
Man, and that, I'm so glad you said that because I want to move on to the Detroit Lions. Okay, I think we talked the Bears. We have to go arch nemesis. We have to go Detroit. Okay, and Barry Sanders is no longer in Detroit. We don't have Herman Moore, Scott Mitchell, Barry Sanders. It's not happening any longer. They got a new group now. Okay, and these boys ball also. Couple questions I have for Detroit though. Is this Dan Campbell's last chance? Like the culture, we hear the talk, we see it on Hard Knocks, we've seen it everywhere. But is this really it? Is this his last chance? Like this has got to be the year. And Jared Goff, that guy, the one you were just thinking about, Teach, the one you were just talking about, man, he played some great football last year. Homeboy balled out. You know what number pick he looked like? He looked like he looked like a top 3 draft pick, did he not? And so we're 3 for 3, so he looked top 3. Okay, that's what it is. Amon St. Brown, that dude, Amon Ra Saint, whatever, however you want to say it, right? I think he's a legit number 1. I really do think he's a legit number 1. Speedy, great route runner. He just does well, a lot of things. And the defensive front that they already had with that draft pick and Aiden Hutchinson, I think their defensive line is formidable. Their linebackers are decent. And then they added Gardner Johnson to the back end. And I think that's sneaky. I think he's underrated. I don't think people give him enough credit for what he really brings to a team. Okay? Now, they lost Swift, but they replaced him with somebody. What was that guy's name? He played for some college football team. That's right. We see that Bama football. So they add Gibbs, Teach's boy Gibbs out of Bama, and I think that's going to be a difference maker too, because I think Gibbs went under the radar in Bama. Okay, I think he's a better running back than a lot of people know, and we're going to see that in Detroit this year. So last year Detroit went 9-8. They finished above 500. This year they get the 20th hardest strength of schedule. So really light schedule this year. Let's get into it. DraftKings has them at 9.5 wins. This team has only won over 9 games, so had 10-plus wins twice since 1995. Are you taking the over or under? We're going to start with you, Coach. 9.5.
I'm going over. I'm going way over. I like them to get 12 wins. That's
all right. Coach is going over with prediction. 12. Teach over under.
Over, but I wouldn't bet it. This team scares me.
I am also going the over. So we are 3 for 3 on the Detroit Lions, taking the over of the 9.5 wins from DraftKings. I love that. Now, let's get more in depth with it, okay? Tell me why. I'm going to start with you, Coach. You said way over. You emphasized the over. Give me the reasons why. What do you think Detroit has done?
I think that Jared Goff looks like he definitely benefited from a change of scenery. People forget that he was a Super Bowl leading quarterback. He led the Rams to a Super Bowl. They were a very hot team. He's a very smart, intelligent player. He has got a big arm. He has got plenty of weapons. I think he just needed a change of scenery, and I think it benefited him as well as benefited Matthew Stafford. It's funny because looking forward, you're like, I don't know who I'd rather take now, Stafford or Goff. But the point is I believed in him. I never lost faith in him because I saw him do some crazy, awesome things. And I think he's got 47,918 weapons in Detroit, and literally the Manning brother that didn't go to the NFL could probably have a winning record with that team.
I don't agree, and I know who led that team in St. Louis to a Super Bowl, and I know who I would pick over Stafford in Goff also. But I'm not going to get into that right now. Teach, tell me why you're taking the over on Detroit.
First of all, him leading the Rams to a Super Bowl is factually correct. But that's kind of like me saying, hey, I crashed my car at a stop sign. Technically, I just made a correct stop. All right? Yeah, factually correct, but not really what we're going for here. Again, this is a guy who didn't do a whole lot while in LA for the Rams. And you can look puzzled. He is a fantasy darling. It looked god-awful at times, and Sean McVay covered a lot of those warts. Now, saying that, he seems to have gone up a level since going in Detroit. Coach, you are absolutely right. The change of scenery was perfect for him. Dan Campbell not only is giving him weapons, but they're focusing on a run game. And that's what you need. Like I said, David Montgomery is there now. They drafted Jahmyr Gibbs at 13. Everybody said it was an overdraft. And you know what? When Jahmyr Gibbs wins Rookie of the Year this year, nobody's going to be questioning it. He's got great hands out of the backfield. He's a tough runner. he's an odd runner. He runs kind of upright, kind of like Brian Robinson did, but he did a lot of great things for the Commanders last year. I think there's a target on their back. Coach Frank always says it's very easy to fly under the radar and win. But when you get the target on your back, when teams know you're coming, it's very different. They killed the Packers' playoff dreams, and now the target is on their back. So, I don't, Coach, I mean, what do you think?
Listen, you're right. They're not under the radar no more. But guess what? They're in the NFC North. Everybody's under the radar in that division. Nobody really cares. Nobody watches. So there's other teams to get involved. And honestly, who cares? Like, I don't contend for, if I picked every one of these teams, which one was in a power ranking, not just in this is where we finished this year, in a top 5. I don't know if any of these teams would be even top 5 in the rest of the NFC. If they are, they would be 5.
They might be. I mean, listen, I don't think Detroit has ever gone to a Super Bowl. I think this is a team who's been Super Bowl-less. So for them to have the year that they had last year and the ending that they had, to be playoff spoiler for the Packers, is a huge step. Now, if we're looking at Jared Goff, he probably is a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the NFC. There's an argument he might be the best quarterback in the NFC. So, I mean, I don't know who I would take over him, but he is a fantasy darling. I know everybody's going to love him. And Amon-Ra, listen, that dude is something else. You talked about him last year. You talked about him 2 years ago in fantasy when I was just starting to play. And you were saying, this is a guy, listen, you got to watch out for those teams that suck, right? The Detroit Lions, the Carolina Panthers, not throwing shade, but I'm throwing shade.
Megatron made a whole career out of them stats.
Yeah, that's it, right?
On the same team, same situation.
And they absolutely were terrible, but Amon-Ra, Egyptian sun god, he is sunning everybody on the field. That's just what he's doing. Now, my question for you would be, how much do you think they're going to miss DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams? I mean, this is a brand new series of running backs, one who couldn't stay on the field last year and a rookie, versus you knew what you were getting with Jamal Williams, Mr. Naruto, Mr. Pokemon himself, and you knew kind of what you were getting from DeAndre Swift. So is that change really going to impact them?
Here's my opinion about the running backs in the situation. I believe that if they get athletic people in there, it seems to be more of a systematic type situation where they can plug and play. I don't think it was that determined. Like when I watched some of their games, it wasn't like they were breaking 6 tackles, getting 50-yard runs. No, they were open. It was well-schemed play. So as long as they get athletic people in the backfield, I don't think they're going to have a downfall at all. Will they be as good at the beginning? No, but I imagine by the end of the year, when they get a little more of the schemes, a little more things in, I believe it's going to measure up quite nicely with what the previous regimen already had in there.
Yeah, so it's what did you say their record was going to be? 12 wins.
12 wins. Yeah, I think they're going to be hot. I think that they got some games they can win. Their schedule not as hard as the Chicago Bears, but partly because they play Chicago and Chicago plays them is one of the main reasons. That's 4 games in the other direction. But I do think that they can get to 12 wins. So I think the Podfather, is having a little technical difficulties. Let's flip into the next one if you want to. Let's go with. There he comes back now.
Yeah,
on cue. Way to go.
I had him at 10-7. Again, he said that the betting line was 9.5 from DraftKings, like he said. I barely have him. I would try and stay away from that. So, Podfather, we went ahead and went through and said what we thought the records were going to be. Coach had 12 wins. I had 10 wins. What'd you have?
Okay, so this is for the Lions, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's start with the Lions. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties on my end. But the Lions, so the Lions, I had them at 10-7. I think 10-7 is a good place for the Lions. I do think they're a good team. They're going to improve from last year. So, yeah, you got it right again, Teach. Great job. But 10-7 is where I have them. I think they're favorable. Their division matchups are really great with Green Bay and Chicago. I think they get to 10 wins pretty decently.
You cannot say enough about how they finished last year in breaking the heart of the Packers. Anytime that you can surprise somebody, shock somebody, and play, even though nothing is on the line for you, means something. Them beating the Packers meant something.
Well, they ran Aaron Rodgers right out of Green Bay. And so speaking of Green Bay really quick, let's go to Green Bay really fast, okay? So Green Bay, is there a bigger story than Aaron Rodgers being gone? Like in the entirety of the NFL, is there a bigger story than Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay and going to the New York Jets?
Besides the league being without Tom Brady, maybe not.
Maybe not, right? And is Jordan Love good?
I love him.
Maybe Jordan Love is good. Maybe. I don't know that we've seen if he's good or not, right? And so we're going to find out this year. So, and I really believe this year is really going to tell us what the Green Bay Packers have with Love and LaFleur. So it's not Love and basketball, it's Love and LaFleur.
Love and football.
Okay, in Green Bay. Yeah. And so it's Love and football. Now, last year, Green Bay, even with Aaron Rodgers, he had the thumb injury, the hand injury. Call it what you want. There was an injury, okay? They finished 8-9. This year, they're 24th strength of schedule. They're number 24. So let's get into it. DraftKings has Green Bay's over and under for win-loss at 7.5. Let's see if we're 3 for 3. Coach, Teach, we'll start with Coach. You guys, Coach, are you taking the over or the under 7.5 for Green Bay?
Over.
Coach is taking the over. Teach.
Under.
Teach is taking the under. I am also taking the under, so we are not 3 for 3. We are 2 for 3. Hey, great job. But now let's get. Wait.
You guys talk about what you're going to take before the podcast right now? Because how do you go not matching ever to going 3 for 3 with you two, and me going? It's been kind of crazy here, That's all I'm saying.
You went on vacation, baby. You went on vacation. We've had a lot of meetings. There's been a lot of dinners, some work lunches. Okay, we've come to. We were thinking about making it 2 for 2, but we decided can't do that. You might have got the tan. We've been studying. Okay, we've been looking at this.
No. And so absolutely not. I don't share my records with anybody, not anybody, because I love the game. I love you guys trying to guess where I'm going to go with it. Teachers just got a good read on me right now. My poker face isn't great, right? And so, but Coach, tell me why you're taking the over in Green Bay.
Because I actually believe in Jordan Love. I don't think he needs to be as good as Aaron Rodgers. I think he needs to be as good as Jordan Love can be. And Jordan Love, just like Aaron Rodgers, it's like now a lot of times in the past. So I'm from Missouri, the Show Me State. And I've seen this story before where Brett Favre left. This other young quarterback comes in, off to a hot start, does a good job, wins multiple MVPs. Not saying Jordan Love's going to win multiple MVPs, but that franchise is used to this type of changeover, and they did it again. They gave this kid quite a few years in the background. He came in for like one series last year, and I fell in love with him because how do you not love a guy named Love? I mean, it's Jordan Love. I mean, like, come on, man. If he wasn't a pro wrestler, then he could have been a pro wrestler with that type of name. I mean, just is what it is, baby.
Shout out to the Netflix series You. Love was crazy, but great series. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But shout out to You. Love, one of my wife's favorite characters, scares the death out of me. Teach, tell me why you're taking the under.
All right, so give me a minute, okay? Because I'm going to progress through some stuff. First of all, Love and LaFleur doesn't sound like a Netflix series. It does not sound like a movie. Sounds like a 30 for 30, okay? What if I told you the Packers have been spoiled for 31 years when Brett Favre got traded from Atlanta to Green Bay, took over, and became their Pro Bowl quarterback? What happened when he stepped away? That's right. One of the greatest of all time, Aaron Rodgers, stepped in. And as a Bills fan who had to sit through the quarterbacks like E.J. Manuel, J.P. Losman, Rob Johnson, Trent Edwards and company, I don't want to hear nothing from Packer fans. I don't want to hear about, it was tough. No, you had 31 years of excellence at quarterback. Shut up, cheeseheads. 5-12. That's what I'm going. Don't want to hear nothing.
Hey, love that. Coach, what was your record you had for him?
I didn't give the record. I just gave the over. I do believe that they're going to win 10 wins, though.
Okay, 10 wins. You have them at 5-12. Hey, we're not 3 for 3 on this either. I have them finishing at 6-11. Here's why. I don't trust the Jordan Love saga. Okay, and Teach, just to reiterate, That sounded more like a Bills segment than a Green Bay segment. I understand you're still angry, okay, but you're in a decent spot. You got the fourth best quarterback in the league right now. All right, so don't complain. You're in a good spot. You could be Dallas and have the seventh best quarterback in the league right now, but you're not. You have the fourth best. Okay, so I'm going to have Green Bay at 6-11. Okay,
We were close.
it's close. Here's why. I look at their schedule. They have the Rams, that's winnable. They have the Saints, that's winnable. They have the Bucks, that's winnable. So we just talked about Tom Brady. We just talked about Aaron Rodgers taking over for Brett Favre. Well, Baker Mayfield's taking over for Tom Brady. They could beat the Bucks, right? So, and then away, the Falcons can beat them. The Broncos can beat them. The Raiders can beat them. The Giants can beat them. And I think the Steelers can beat them. I really do. So I'm putting them at 6 wins. That's where we're at. Green Bay finishes at 6.5.
It doesn't take a lot to go from like a middling team in this division to an amazing team either. Like
it does not. And it doesn't take a lot for me to think about who's Green Bay's receivers. And we're yet to talk about the best receiver in the NFL. But we're about to do so. The Minnesota Vikings. Now, they are a crazy story. And can you get your... I'm dying to see if you guys can get your head wrapped around the Minnesota Vikings. So, were the Vikings as good as their record last year? Let me throw a couple tidbits out for you. They were 11-0 in one-score games during the regular season. And they finished the entirety of the season with only a +3 differential. Yet they went 13-4. Who is the real Kirk Cousins? Can he please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Carl Cousins? Kirk Cousins? Who are you going to be this year? No Dalvin Cook? We're going to rely on Mattinson. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to draft him. I'll draft him. You guys will give him to me. And then they added Addison to go alongside Jay Jettis? I don't know. This team's tough to figure out. Now, they do fall at number 19 in strength of schedule. Okay, so that's a benefit for Minnesota. Coming off a 13-4 record, how did they get a 19th strength of schedule? To me, that's just crazy, right?
It's a weak NFC.
Here's the crazier part. This team finished 13-4. We're going to get to it now. A team that finished 13-4 last year, DraftKings has them at 8.5 over/under. 5-game differential. Crazy line for a 13-win team. Coach, you taking the over/under on wins for the Minnesota Vikings at 8.5?
I'm way under.
Wow, Coach is taking way under. Teach, you taking the over/under?
I'm taking the over.
We are 2 for 3, not 3 for 3. I am also taking the over, but I am interested as heck about why Coach said way under. Coach, let me know.
I'm interested. My theory behind this is you have teams that win these very close games, and when they had an unbelievable record of very close games, but I've seen it all too often, and not just this sport, in sports across the spectrum. If you look at baseball, it's the same way. If you win one-run games, you're not the winner of the most one-run games is generally not the best team. They're just got really lucky that year. And as I saw the Minnesota Vikings, they got really lucky last year. I actually have them only winning 4 games, 4-13.
Wow!
I think they're gonna
4-13,
just like Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins. They're the same person, and they have the ability to absolutely just blow up. And Dalvin Cook might be way more than they thought he was. They have a good tight end. They have 2 good wide receivers, but they're one injury away from having a top draft pick. That's it. They're one injury away.
So tell us again, what's your win projection?
They were 13-4. I had 4-13. I had them going the exact opposite of like the situation. And it's just because I believe that the lucky bug has left the window. They had their opportunity to win it all. Justin Jefferson is not the best wide receiver in the NFL. He had the best year in the NFL. The best wide receivers coming back. He got hurt last year, in my opinion. So you can call it what you want. Stats don't lie. One guy got hurt. The other one had a better season. You'll see it happens. I know what I'm taking and I know what I believe in. So I've seen this stuff before. This is not the first time I've watched this story. Again, these teams come and go all the time. And with this division, you just don't know. You could have the Packers getting better. You could have Chicago getting better. And then all of a sudden, this team starts racking losses really fast. And then it turns into a nightmare.
Well, we know that per Frank, everybody in the division is winning 10 games, except the Minnesota Vikings. No. Coach, I love that. I love that. The only thing I got to ask one question before I move on to you, Teach. Do you watch football? Okay? Because that is wild. Teach, tell me why you're taking the over. I got to speak some sense into me real quick because I may jump on the train with Coach. I might do it.
First of all, chop that up for TikTok. That is going to be gold. That is great. I don't think they were as good as their record was last year, and I think they proved that in the first round of the playoffs. I think everybody predicted for them to lose in the first round of the playoffs, and they didn't surprise us. It happened to a mediocre Giants team at that. I don't know why they made so many changes on offense. I think what Coach Frank is saying, he's not delusional. He's absolutely right. I don't know why they made changes with Dalvin Cook. I don't know why they said, Adam Thielen, take your talent somewhere else. I understand the Jordan Addison pick, but I also don't think he's going to be that great. That being said, Jay Jettas is really great. There might be an argument, Cooper Kupp versus Jay Jettas. I don't think there is right now. I think it's Jettas. But we can talk about that later. I think the biggest acquisition that the Vikings that allows them to maintain a positive winning record is probably their new defensive coordinator, Brian Flores. Being a Bills fan, I absolutely loved seeing him leave Miami because he scares the living crap out of me as a coordinator and as a head coach. I think he should be a head coach somewhere else. That's why I have them going 10-7.
Well, Miami doesn't believe he's a head coach. Okay, so we'll keep that one there. 10-7, much different than the 5 wins that Coach has them at. Was it 5 wins? 4 wins? 5 wins?
4.
Yeah. So I have them going 9-8. I think the point differential, the close games, I think it does mean something. I don't think it means more than 4 or 5 games, right? And so I have them go at 9-8 because they will win half of those games, I believe. 9-8's fair, okay? So with them going 9-8, that's where we're at. Tell me this. We've talked through the NFC North. I'm going to go Teach, then I'm going to go Coach on this one. So tell me what you guys think is the biggest story of the NFC North starting today.
Yeah, I think last week when we talked about the AFC South as being the worst division in football, it might be this one. It might be the NFC North. There's just tons of question marks. I can realistically see all 4 of these teams finishing with a below 500 record, or the division winner squeaking out 9-8 and limping their way into the playoffs. And it's not because they're all great. It's just because they're all just mediocre. They're all mid.
I agree. Coach.
I'm looking forward to Jordan Love putting on a song that's better than Love Me Sexy, or maybe a different version of that, a newer one, because I love the movie. And Will Ferrell is one of my favorite human beings of all time. And I believe that if he just did a remake of that, I could be more on board. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing what Jordan Love can do, because playing in the shadow of a greatness is very hard. And I believe that he'll get some bumps and some lumps, but I believe he's going to have a good season. And then you're just going to see Green Bay. They turn out quarterbacks like Pittsburgh turns out wide receivers.
And so for me, I think can Justin Fields prove that he's a legit NFL star quarterback? And where does he live in the land of quarterbacks in the NFC? There is a landscape for the quarterback of the NFC that is completely different than anything we've seen in the last few years. Okay, this is way different. They are young. Nobody's proven. Okay, they're saying the best quarterback in the NFC is Jalen Hurts. Crazy.
It's not that crazy.
So I want to play a little 3 for 3. Let's play a little 3 for 3, and we're going to play a Would You Rather. We're going to do Justin Fields versus NFC quarterback edition.
Starting a franchise.
And I want to see how many.
Starting a franchise.
Yeah, you're starting a franchise. So I want to see how many of these we go 3 for 3 on. Okay. So again, 3 for 3. Would you rather Justin Fields versus NFC quarterbacks starting a franchise today? Who are you taking? We'll start coach, then teach on all of them. Justin Fields or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts.
Hurts. We're 3 for 3. Justin Fields or Dak Prescott?
Fields.
Fields.
Sorry, coach. Fields.
Fields. We're good.
I'm going Dak Prescott. We're 2 for 3. Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins?
Fields.
Fields.
Fields. We're 3 for 3. Justin Fields or Jared Goff?
Fields.
Fields.
I'm going Jared Goff. We're 2 for 3. Justin Fields or Geno Smith?
Fields.
Fields.
Fields also 3 for 3. Justin Fields or Derek Carr?
Fields.
Fields.
It's got to be Fields. Daniel Jones?
Fields.
Fields.
Fields. We're 3 for 3. Jordan Love?
Fields.
Fields. I felt that.
Fields. We're 3 for 3. Trey Lance or Brock Purdy? One or the other?
Fields.
Both the San Francisco quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm going Brock Purdy. We're 2 for 3. Fields or Stafford?
Fields.
Fields.
I'm going Matt Stafford. Fields or Kyler Murray?
Fields.
Fields, then a therapist, then Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I'm going Fields. We're 3 for 3 on that one. Fields or Bryce Young?
Bryce Young.
B money, Bryce Young.
I'm going Justin Fields. We're 2 for 3 on that one. Fields or Sam Howell?
Who? Fields.
Fields, but Howell's good.
I'm going Fields. Howard's trash. Fields or Baker Mayfield?
Fields.
Fields.
Don't sleep on Baker. I'm taking Fields. We're 3 for 3. Fields or Desmond Ritter?
Fields.
Fields, but Desmond's a different version of Fields.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going Fields also, so we're 3 for 3 on that one. Listen, appreciate you guys playing with me. We had a lot of 3 for 3s on that one. I think we kind of know where Justin Fields falls. Let's see if we're right as the season progresses, right? But that was fun. That was fun.
Next week.
So I just want to do so next week we're gonna go NFC South, right? So we're gonna go North, South, West, East, and finish with the best division in football, which I think we all know is what?
AFC East.
The Dallas Cowboys NFC Beast. Okay, that's what it is. That's where we're going to finish up. But I want to recap really quick. Let's recap the NFC North. So just to recap Podfather predictions in episode 34, we here at 3 for 3 have agreed now that this is how the division is going to fall. The Lions are going to win the division at 10-7. Coach believes it. Teach believes it. I believe it. We're 3 for 3. Second's going to be the Vikings. They're going to fall 9-8. We think the one-score games are too much for them to overcome. They lost Dalvin Cook. They're going to finish 9-8. We have the Packers finishing third at 6-11. It's LaFleur and Love. LaFleur and Love. It's a great Netflix series, or 30 for 30, whichever one you want to go with. And then we have the Bears bringing up the bottom at 5-12. Where does Fields fit? And are they going to end up changing head coaches? We believe so. That's where we're at. That's the AFC North 3 for 3, episode 34, Podfather predictions. Tell us what we got right or wrong. Let us know. Talk to us. We know we're right. We'll holler at y'all later. 3 for 3.